Welcome to Life in Design, a bilingual podcast hosted and produced by me, Tham Penhafiel. As an interior designer, I encourage the well-being of the body, mind, soul, and spirit. My goal is to create a safe space for breaking through self-imposed limitations and adopting an autonomous mindset. Each episode features inspiring individuals who have achieved their goals, encouraging you to step out of your comfort zone and design the life you always have dreamed of. Join me as we explore episodes in both English and Portuguese. I want to take this time to thank you all sponsors and thank you to Ahi Board for sponsoring this podcast. Ahi Waves Lad believes no matter if you are a surfboarder or a bodyboarder, anyone can shred the wave. Intended for all levels of riders, Ahi Waves Lad is the ultimate barrel machine. It's made in the USA with 100% recyclable materials, easy to catch waves, and impact resistant. It's always overhead on an Ahi. Visit ahiboard.com for more details. Our guest today has a remarkable talent for inspiring us to truly appreciate and fall in love with the artistry of beautiful pastry. Jordan Prelaski is an accomplished executive pastry chef with a unique journey that merges precision creativity. Originally from Buffalo, New York, he transitioned from an early interest in architecture to a passion for pastry, which allowed him to blend craftsmanship with creativity. After training at Johnson and Wales University, he has held positions at prestigious establishments like the Ritz-Carlton and the Ohio Valley Inn, where he currently leads a team. Jordan's innovative approach focuses on locally sourced ingredients and traditional French techniques gained him recognition on Food Network, where he won the Spring Baking Championship, the Holiday Baking Championship, and most recently, the Harry Potter Awards of Baking. Jordan, thank you, we did it. Thank you so much for being here today. It's been a pleasure to see your journey throughout the years and how amazing you've been doing your professional life.
Thank you so
much. And I'd like to start this conversation with you, telling us a little bit about your background and all the accomplishments that you have done to get to where you are right now.
Well, so originally, like you said, I'm from Buffalo, New York. I'm an East Coast boy, but now I'm in California. I've been here for about almost 6 years. Met my wife here. So this is my home currently. I went to Johnson & Wales. I have a bachelor's degree actually in just baking and pastry art. So that's my 4-year degree. I learned everything there had to be, everything I needed to know about pastry and baking. Right after that, I started at the Ritz-Carlton in Florida, a place called Amelia Island, which is like north of Jacksonville, Florida, if anybody knows where that is. So I started there and I worked at Ritz-Carlton for about 6 years. That took me actually out to the West Coast. I worked at the Baccara out here. Cool. And then I helped open up a patisserie in downtown Santa Barbara called Alessia Patisserie and Cafe.
I know
Alessia.
that place.
It's a beautiful place. So I was there for about 2 years, and then I just recently, almost 2 years now, at the Ohio Valley Inn as the executive pastry chef. And in that professional little stint, I also have done some TV things too. So when I was 21, I won the Spring Baking Championship, season 3.
Whoa.
And then that kind of moved into a lot of different things. I was a judge on the Christmas Cookie Challenge, season 1 and 2, also on Food Network. The Holiday Baking Championship, it was like a homecoming special. It was like Battle of the Champions. I won that one as well. I was on Candyland season 1. So
I remember that.
Candyland.
I remember watching the final.
Yeah, that one is a fun one. I was on Alex vs. America. I beat Alex Carnacelli on that show. And then just recently Harry Potter Wizards of Baking, and I won that one as well. So I've won 4 out of the 5 that I've been on.
My God, congratulations.
Yeah, it's a fun little side gig at the moment, but it's been a really exciting journey.
So I want to talk about a lot of things with you, because when I was reading into your bio, I was just like, holy shit. Jordan is amazing. I knew you before, and I remember we were watching the final of Candyland many years ago. I think it was 2020.
Yeah.
And And I had no idea everything else you had accomplished. But I was at this waiting room watching TV and at the Dennis place. And I was watching the Harry Potter Awards. And I'm like, wait a minute. I thought of you for some reason because it's the only Food Network connection that I have. And you were in the show. How amazing.
Yeah, it's cool. It's funny. I get like random texts from some people. They're like, you're my dentist or like wherever. Like just like reruns of old shows. It's really funny. It's actually really cool. I don't really think about it until those things happen. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. So early on, let's go back a little bit. We're going to go back to the Food Network and all the shows that you've been on it. But I want to touch on the fact that you wanted to start architecture first. Yeah. And then you did it for a little bit, right?
No, I never actually did it. I mean, so my grandfather was a self-made architect. Like I don't have an old story where I was with my grandmother in the kitchen baking. Like that's just not, that's not how I started. So I started with my grandfather actually in his basement. When he was retired as an architecture, he would build model airplanes and like 3D sculptures. And I was in the basement with him doing it. And I loved working with my hands. And that was something I was like, I want to be an architect. So in high school, I kind of did all those things. So computer drafting, 3D sculpture and design, like working with my hands. Slowly got over it, honestly, because a lot of things moved to computers. So I wasn't able to work with my hands. Long story short, I started watching Food Network and I fell in love with food. I was like, wow, this is really cool. And then slowly realized that baking and culinary, so food and pastries, completely different things. Fell in love with pastry because now I feel like I'm an architect still, just in a different medium. So
You're
I still get to be creative. Yeah, I'm still a designer, right? Yeah. Exactly. So I kind of fell into this, which is amazing. I never thought I would. Nobody in my family's ever done this. So I love it.
Open bridging for the family, for the next generation. So what made you to choose a pastry? Because I believe whoever bakes has a little bit of obsession.
Yeah.
You have to be obsessed with because it's so much precision on it. I cannot make a cake without make the cake flat or like nobody can eat.
It's difficult.
It is difficult.
Hard.
And so what made you fall in love with that part of the industry?
I think it's really like, again, that architectural mind. So the math and the exactness, and I am very much a perfectionist in my career. It is very difficult for me to look at something and not find any imperfections. So it's funny, like as I've had mentors in my career or just mentors in life, it's kind of always pushed me that way just towards pastry. Because again, I didn't know if I wanted to do food or pastry, but I think my mind works best for pastry because again, I'm such a perfectionist. And yeah, there's a lot of skill into it. I think a lot of people, they come up to me and ask me like, do you bake cupcakes or like what kind of cupcake? I was like, I don't really do that. I mean, I can, right? But I do a lot more than that. I create these like beautiful plated desserts or sculptures or things like that. And I'm using my mind in a different way. And I think when a person like you maybe would bake at home, you don't realize that until the end when your cake is flat. You're like, wait, what happened? How do I fix this?
Not that long ago, I tried to make an orange cake and I was just so sad. I had to throw the whole thing away and I'm like, what did I do wrong? And I'm like, I put so much love into it. So I guess bake doesn't work with food because people say like, oh, you cook, if you put love into it, it's going to be good. I'm like, it does work the same.
You need a little bit more than love. Love is good, but I need a little bit more.
So when you do those desserts that is so architecture, what usually is your inspiration? What do you find inspirations for it?
A lot of different things, honestly. Like maybe I'll be going for a walk, or I'll be outside and I'll look at a cool building or a cool structure or a cool something that my eyes are seeing, and I kind of base some of my plated desserts off of that. Also, I'm just very interested of how things are made. Right, like how things come together, even just like this mic, right? Like it's just really cool how it's very structurally sound and like there's straight lines. So I take that inspiration and I put that into whether that's a plated dessert or like sculpture or something like that. I'm just really into straight lines and something that looks a little bit more modern than contemporary, if that makes sense.
What's the coolest dessert that you think you ever made?
That's such a hard question. Well. I don't know. I just feel like, honestly, like there's these shows, right? It's a cool thing to be on these shows. Number one, it's a competition. I'm very competitive. So to be on a show and do all these different things, like even just this last one, Harry Potter, we're making like 4 foot, 5 foot, 6 foot tall showpieces. And I think, I mean, hopefully everybody watches the show. In the finale, we made this 6-foot tall showpiece, and like just to put that together is something that I never thought I could do. You do it in the moment because you're going through the competition, your adrenaline's going crazy. But afterwards, I'm looking at it, I'm like, wow, I can't believe I just did something like that. So like some of the things in the shows, I'm just like, wow, I can't believe I've done that. And there's also, obviously pastries I do in my actual career that are pretty cool to me. But
so when you do a structure like that, do you eat it after the whole thing, or is just like for show?
No, it's mostly for show. I mean, especially on those shows, we don't really eat much. I mean, sometimes like in that show specifically, you had to have a certain percentage of it edible, and like the crew and stuff will eat it afterwards. Like we're not there eating because we're just like, I'm over this. I just did 6 hours or 8 hours of this and I'm over it.
So question for like behind the scenes when you do those shows, usually how long you have to create those tasks, those assignments? Because I remember watching the fashion ones and usually it was like 8 hours for them to create a scent. I'm like, this is insane.
Yeah. So like usually, again, every show is different, but I guess we can stick on the Harry Potter one.
Right.
So that one was 6 hours usually for each piece. The last one was 10 hours because it had to be 6 feet tall. So yeah, it's exactly what it seems. It's pretty tight knit. I mean, there's a lot going on, and that 6 hours feels like 30 minutes.
Gosh, yeah, I bet. Well, how about the adrenaline that you feel?
It's ongoing. I think the filming process is such a long process. I mean, I was in London filming that.
Yeah, I was going to ask about
I was in London. I was on the actual Harry Potter sets, which was amazing. Which is really, really cool. So regardless of the outcome, I think just being there doing that was pretty awesome. It was like, have you ever seen the movie Night of the Museum? Like, yeah. So it's like at night. So we couldn't get on the sets until after 10 p.m. because everybody's going and doing this tour. So we were like you would walk through this tour and you would laugh because people don't know what going on after night. But we're there making 6-foot sugar sculptures and things. But yeah, it's a long process. So like your adrenaline is just, you have to be on. And I think that's the only way that you can compete in those is like you have to be on because it's very easy to wake up and be like, oh yeah, I'm good. I don't want to do this anymore. Yeah. I'm tired.
To give up.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's ongoing. It never stops until the end. And then you're like exhausted and need to sleep for a couple
then how
days.
long it lasts, the whole competition?
So it's 3 weeks we filmed. The first like 3 or 4 days are usually like PR stuff. So like we're taking pictures and like doing stuff to promote the show. But the actual show itself, it was about 2 weeks and it was a long haul.
So you'd be sleeping all day and filming all night?
Yeah. So again, we didn't get on until after 10. So it was actually it was good for me because California time was like the overnight time in London. So like I didn't really have to adjust too much. But we would start around like 2:30, like call time would be around like 2:30 or 3 p.m. And we worked till about 6:30 a.m. the next day. So they were long days. I mean, that's a 15-hour day. So, and that was consistent. Like that was like every day. So it's a long.
It's a long day. How about Candyland? Did you do Candyland here in the U.S.?
Yeah. So Candyland was actually in L.A. That one was odd though, because that was during COVID, like just after COVID kind of. So we were still quarantining and taking tests. So that was like a month-long process, even though we I think we only filmed for maybe 12 days, like in total. We were there for a whole month because I had to get there, quarantine for 2 weeks. Then we were filming and then we had to quarantine again before we left. So like it was a long...
Wow, the long process.
Yeah, it's long.
But I'm sure you enjoy that, huh?
Yeah, every time I leave, I'm like, I'm never do it again. And then I'm like, I love it. Yeah, I think it's just because I'm competitive. I like to push myself in my own like professional career, and obviously these TV competitions help me. And Food Network has gratefully or graciously given me these opportunities to test myself. So I think it's just more of like I'm always testing myself at different points in my career.
So when you say the Food Network giving you those opportunities, do they reach you for that?
So yeah, it's actually was really interesting. The first time, so Spring Baking Championship, they reached out to me on Facebook Messenger. And I was like, this is a scam. Like this is so weird. I don't know. This can't be real. But they're like, yeah, we think you'd be a good fit for this show. And I said, yeah, I'm totally interested. Because it was, again, always a joke. I loved Food Network. I went to school. I was like, oh, it'd be so cool to be on Food Network. And that was so weird how it came like full circle. But yeah, they reached out. Yeah, manifested. It did. It was like, it truly was. It was a month after I graduated college. I got this Facebook message for the show, Spring Baking Championship. And yeah, we had like 2 Zoom calls. And then next thing I knew, I was on a plane flying out to LA to film that show.
So that was
crazy.
the show that brought you to the West Side, pretty much? Or
Not
you wanted
necessarily.
to move?
It's just a lot of the filming, either New York, LA. Food Network has a lot of studios, I think, around the country now. But that was my first time in LA, like just on the West Coast. So it was even cooler for me at that time. And I was 21, so it was like a really cool time in my life. And then after winning, it kind of steamrolled, or just I rode that wave into other little things. But yeah, ever since that, I haven't applied for a show. So to answer your question, like I've been reached out to for these specific opportunities. I think it's maybe because I've done so well on them, or just I have like a good presence on TV. Because there's a lot that goes into casting, right?
It does, yeah.
It is a show after all, so you do have to have some type of a personality, and also skill, right? But,
right.
Yeah, so I've been grateful for that.
Good for you.
Yeah,
well, congratulations. It's pretty impressive.
Thank
you can say which was your favorite of like all the whole process, the one that you had the most fun doing it?
Probably, honestly, I would say this Harry Potter one.
Harry
It was
Potter.
the most strenuous. Like I was definitely, I lost like 12 pounds during it. It was very stressful and crazy. Obviously most rewarding. I mean, I was able to win, which is amazing, but to be a part of that franchise and to be a part of that like Harry Potter world is like, it's pretty cool.
It's a classic, especially for us growing up, everybody watching Harry Potter.
Exactly. So like we're now a part of that world,
yeah,
forever, which is cool. I talked to my brother and he has 2 little kids and he's like, do you realize like you're going to be a wizard of baking forever now? Like for my kids.
That's
I was like,
true.
And I don't think about those things. So
right.
I think this one was the most rewarding for sure.
I'm curious to know, when you're doing the shows, what crossed your mind, like when you look back to your young 21 years old Jordan, finish up school and do your first show, and you were in London, film that. Do you ever like put that into perspective to like, holy shit, I did it?
Yeah, because honestly, you said it kind of in the beginning, like I've been working really hard. I mean, I'm 30 years old, but I feel like I've been working for 20 years. Ever since I graduated college, I moved to Florida by myself. I moved cross country by myself. I've taken all these risks in my career, like my professional career, that have given me rewards in my professional career and also given me these opportunities with Food Network. So like to look back now, right, just doing this last one as a 30-year-old, to think about all the things that I've done before. I'm a humble person, honestly, at heart. So I don't think about it too much, but I have loving people around me that remind me of like, you're doing a lot and you've done a lot. And right. I've worked really, really hard for the things that I've accomplished.
Right, because if you think about it, the last 10 years of your life, it's been accomplishment of like big, big competitions for your resume. So basically, like, what are you going to be doing the next 10 years? You know what I mean? Like, you're probably going to be able to tell where you want to work, who you want to work with, because you already had all this baggage on your portfolio, right?
Yeah, and it gives me, you're right, it gives me a confidence, definitely confidence in myself to pitch myself for things that I want. And it also, I'm also that type of person too that will never stop learning, and there's so much to learn and there's so much to do. So like even just any opportunity that comes my way, I'm always excited to learn and do more, always to do more.
Cool. So at home and when you're not working,
Yep.
do you usually bake?
No. My wife, it's funny because people ask my wife that all the time. They're like, oh, you must be so lucky he bakes for you at home. I'm like, no, we don't do that.
I did ask her that when she was in the podcast, and then she was like, no, we don't cook too much. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I love to cook. Like I'll come home from work, like a 12-hour shift, and I like want to cook. I think it's because I'm just around, I'm around baked goods all day. So like, it's not like I go home and bake cookies. I mean, honestly, those are the things I do. Like bake a cookie and like maybe a banana bread or something. Like that's it. Like I don't do anything crazy at home just because I'm around it. But I do love food. So like we'll always be cooking at home.
So when you say you love food, do you like cooking food or just like eating?
All
of
the above.
All
of the above. I love going to eat. Again, my wife is not a picky eater. So like that's amazing. So we can just go eat all these different types of restaurants. So I love that. But I also, I love cooking at home. I love hosting people. We both do. So it's it's a life based around food.
I love
I
it.
think, yeah.
I love it. That's nothing bad.
It's starting. It's nothing bad.
Food, pastry, and wine, and that's all.
That's right.
And cheeses
That's right.
and prosciutto.
Yeah, all the stuff.
All the
Everything.
stuff. So, can you tell us a little bit about your experience of working with Chef Andrew Yu?
Yeah. Yeah, he's my mentor still. I mean, I haven't talked to him actually in probably a couple of years. We talk here and there, but he was like the first person that got me into this professional world of pastry. So like it was before I left for college. I think it was my junior year when I was like really figuring out pastry is like what I want to do. My family took a vacation to the JW Marriott in Orlando, and the way that the JW Marriott works is it's connected to the Ritz-Carlton, and Chef Yao was the executive chef there at the Ritz-Carlton. And during that weekend, they had like a cooking class and baking class, so we signed up for it. The first day was cooking, and the second day was baking. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it to the second day, but I was a young kid, and he realized that I was like loving culinary and just food in general. And he did like the Ritz-Carlton thing where he sent like a cookie jar full of all the baked goods to our room the second day because I wasn't able to make the baking portion. So like that started our relationship, which was awesome. And then like when I was in college, I had to do an internship my sophomore year, and I just reached out to him. And I think it was my mom, honestly, that said it to me. She's like, reach out to Chef. Why wouldn't you see what he's doing? And he just recently became the executive chef at the Ritz-Carlton in Amelia Island, where I started my career. And I got an internship there because of him, really. So like he helped me start that career. And then ultimately I started my job there after I graduated. That was the first place I worked. So he helped me with that. He also helped me kind of keep the Spring Baking Championship a secret, because it was funny. Mm-hmm. Like I went to do it, but because corporations are just they're all different about like what we can and can't do. And I think they weren't too keen on me going to film. But he allowed me to do it, which was amazing. Obviously I ended up winning, so it was like a win-win for everybody. Right. But throughout my career, I've always asked him, suggestions or advice based off of like, what should I do next and stuff. So he like became a mentor really early on, and I feel like he's helped in a way to shape me to who I am today as a chef. So
right.
It's pretty cool.
And also it's, I'm sure that you are inspired by him and by his leadership. So it's nice to have a mentor that can guide you to be a big leader in the kitchen.
Yeah.
In the baking or pastry sector or whatever, the kitchen side of it, because usually chefs, they're really hard.
They are, you're right. And I've worked under a couple of hard chefs, and they're kind of a little crazy.
I have a joke sometimes. I'm like, man, they must be cooking their eggs so much in the kitchen that they're just so grumpy.
It's funny because you're right. I think that's the misconception. Now we have like all these shows, right? Like The Bear and like all this stuff. And like people are like, wow, it's crazy in the kitchens. And honestly, it used to be. Traditionally, like your executive chef was screaming at you, and that's just like how it was, and you were okay with it. Obviously now we live in a different climate.
Right.
So as a leader, right, like my biggest job and my number one priority is to see all the people that work for me succeed, right? Mm-hmm. And I played team sports my whole life, right? I played baseball in college. So I love seeing a team succeed. So like my approach as a leader is, number one, having that empathy and like trying to help people through just learning, and whether that's technique or just managerial learning. And then also, obviously, yes, I have to be kind of like the boss, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I get paid to do. But it's not hardcore. I try not to be. I think you don't get a lot out of people when you're screaming and yelling and screaming. And I've had coaches like that too, and it's just like, okay, like.
Yeah, no, you don't get it. And also the environment's not as it's not as fun to spend so much time with, and then you were so nice, and I'm sure that you have that side of like, okay, we gotta have things done, but at the same time you have the compassion to understand, and sometimes like life happens and then we just bring life or problems to work, which it's hard sometimes to differentiate it, but we should not do that, as a professional. But at the same time, as a professional, we should not be yelling at your team, because your team also has to have your back.
Yeah, and I want people to come to work and be happy coming to work, right? Like, I'm happy. I love pastry. I love going to work and, baking things. Like, that's what I love to do. And I want others to love it. yes, they have a job to do and they should know that. And that's my job to make sure that they know that. But also I want them to like me as a person. Like I want to have some type of relationship with you. I don't want to be this very separate entity that it's like, I can't touch that person, or I'm so anxious to come to work because he is this or whatever. Like, I don't want that. I never wanted that. So, I feel like in the 4 years of me being a leader, around 4 years, like that's something I'm trying to build and portray to my employees.
Amazing. So what's the most important lesson you've been learned over the past years as a pastry chef?
So it's funny. I was just thinking about this the other day, actually, because I had to actually mention this to someone in my kitchen. It's really simple. It's, if you need help, don't be afraid to ask. And I think when I just started working, I have a very vivid time where I didn't ask for help. Something went wrong. I got screamed at. But the first thing my executive pastry chef at the time said to me is like, if you need help, ask for it. So like, I am never too proud. And even now, if I don't know how to do something, or I don't know how to like go about something or try to fix a situation, or like, I will ask my boss, like, I need help with this. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the biggest thing, because if you don't ask for help, I think failing is a good thing, but you should want to feel support from the people around you. And again, that comes with culture too. That comes with like how I interact with people. Like, I want you to be able to come to me and ask questions. Like, I don't want you to feel like you can't. So, pretty simple. If you need help, ask for it.
Yeah, no, it's a good way to do too. My mom, she always says like, whoever needs help, they should ask. If you need help, ask for help. And then that's a great lesson that also you are available. You show that you are available to your team. I have another question for you. So growing up in Buffalo, how was your childhood like?
How was my childhood? I feel like, I don't know what I was just about to say normal. I don't know what normal is, but like, I had a very loving mom and dad. I have 2 older siblings. My sister.
So you're the youngest?
I'm the youngest. So maybe I just got treated better because maybe I'm the most loved child. I don't know. But yeah, like, they supported us in everything. I mean, I played sports my whole life. My brother did too. My mom was driving us everywhere. We played travel hockey. We were going back from the States to Canada to like all these places, and they supported us in all of that. They obviously wanted us to succeed in whatever we do. And they were supporting. So like, I'm a pastry chef. My brother's in the military. He's in the Navy. And my sister is she's pretty much a veterinary technician. She now works for like a insurance company, a pet insurance company. She's in charge of a great team. She's like an amazing manager. But like, all 3 of us do very different things. And all 3 of us don't do anything like anybody else in my family. So like, we all made our own decisions and we felt like we could do that. So growing up, again, I feel like it was normal in that way, where I felt like I could do whatever I wanted. And I had the support, and I still do. I mean, they love, I mean, they get the perks now. I get to stay, I work at Ohio Valley. They get to come and stay at the hotel, and they're for cheap, But yeah, I think it's just a very loving family for sure.
Did you enjoy eating sugar growing up?
I can't even. That's the thing. I can't even remember. And I'm not. This is so controversial, and maybe someone will say this when they're watching this, but like, I'm not a super like, I don't eat a lot of sweets.
Me too.
I love it. Like, I love baking it, and maybe I'll get a craving for like a chocolate chip cookie every once in a while. But I'm not like I need sweets type of person. I don't like, even going out to dinner. Like, I don't order dessert all the time. My favorite dessert of all time is tiramisu.
Oh yeah.
So if we go to a restaurant, like, I'll order tiramisu, no matter if I'm full or not. But like, I don't eat that many.
But
sweets.
It's not as sweet neither.
Yeah, I know, exactly. It's like a little savory.
Yeah.
Right? And bitter from the coffee. But like, yeah, I didn't grow up eating like a ton of sweets.
Yeah, I didn't either, and that makes me not. I mean, I like sugar sometimes. Most of the time, I only crave it when I'm about to get on my cycle. That's when I crave sugar. But even this morning, we went to Hook Press.
Yep.
And I only go there because I like the everything bagel.
Not even the
donuts. It's not even
that's
sweet.
Not even real donut.
No, that's not even real.
Yeah.
But it's the only thing I eat there.
That's funny.
And they didn't have today, so I got like a regular cookie. I mean, not cookie, donut, and I could not eat it. I only had one bite.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's too much sugar for me. It's just like something that I don't appreciate it, I guess.
I don't eat that much breakfast. And like if I do, I feel like I overindulge on something sweet for breakfast. Like I'll be the one that gets like the French toast and the whatever. And like
I cannot have sweets for breakfast.
Yeah, I just don't. That's why I've done it way too many times where it's like I feel like absolute crap right now. So I just don't. Even though that's not what breakfast is, but for some reason I correlate breakfast to like sweet things when it should not be.
Yeah, I know. Breakfast for me has to be savory. It has to be something with salt and refreshing.
Yeah, I'm simple. I just have a banana. That's about it. That's it. Just a banana.
Yeah, I guess you're not a big breakfast person.
No, not a big breakfast guy.
So, Jordan, I'm curious to know what a day of a pastry chef at the Ohio Valley Hotel looks like.
It's funny because it's not consistent. I'll tell you that. It is different every single day. Every single week is different. My days off, I try to make them consistent. They're not. But it's a lot. I mean, my job now I feel like is more like a 60% administrative and a 40% like actually in the kitchen baking thing. So I oversee a team of 9, almost 10 people, or I think 9 people. And there's a lot to do. I mean, the first shift for them, they come in at 3:45 a.m. So it's a very early shift.
Wow.
I used to do that. Now I'm more of like a 8:30 a.m. So like I get a little bit of a break there. But there's just a lot going on. During the busy season, we could have banquets. So like a lot of like groups and stuff in-house that are spending a lot of money and they have like really cool just like banquet events throughout the day. But on top of that, like our kitchen is in charge of giving pastries to all our outlets. So when I say outlets, I mean like all the restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
We have
how many restaurants do you guys have?
So there's, if you consider restaurants, so our all-day dining restaurant, we have that. We have a fine dining restaurant. We have in-room dining, which is like your room service. Mm-hmm. Then you have like the pools. We also have spa, which there's like a cafe and spa that we give pastries to. Libby's, which is like our coffee shop. So it's around like what we supply to. It's about 6-7 different outlets.
Wow.
Whether that's breakfast pastries or lunch things. But then on top of that is banquet. So like we take care of all pastries for the whole hotel. We do about like $50 million a year in like food and beverage, which is like, it's a pretty big operation.
It is.
So when it's busy, it's very busy. And that's what I mean. Like my day can be very different, whether that's doing administrative work, whether that's like coming up with menus and figuring out like right now it's February and I already know what's going on for 4th of July. Like we're way ahead. I'm always planning. Valentine's Day is coming up. So you know, that stuff is planned. But on top of that, it's managing, you know, I have 2 assistant pastry chefs that manage kind of like different parts of the day, but I have to manage them to make sure that everything is getting done.
So you manage the whole...
Yes. So
you
I'm
were
in charge
the
of the whole
executive
department.
Chef of the whole hotel.
Yeah,
the whole
pastry, all of pastry.
Yeah.
My boss is the executive chef of the whole hotel. But yeah, so I have to manage and make sure that all those things are getting done. And if they're not, you know, that's the time that I'm jumping in and doing these things wherever I need be. So I'm always running around doing stuff, making sure things taste good.
Yeah.
You know, it's a busy day usually.
It is also a beautiful hotel. I have to say, I love going there for a spa.
Well, hey, our spa is a 5-star 5-diamond spa, and it's like, you know, 1 of 10 in the state. So
yes.
1 of 5 in the state, I think. So it is a great spa.
Yeah, when we had the fires here, I was going there a lot to just like get out of the. I mean, I'm saying like breathe fresh air because it was not as fact.
Yeah, it's a great place. I mean, there's a lot of celebrities and people that come there that I think most people don't think come, but they come for the reason to be relaxed and to be kind of hidden. Because I mean, the inn is like, it's pretty hidden in Ohio, and Ohio is like it's a hidden gem in general.
Right.
Just like Ohio and
it's a little sanctuary.
Yeah, it is.
Love the Pink Mountains.
It's beautiful. The Pink Mountains. We get it perfectly at the hotel. So
yeah. Oh, and how do you balance your life, your personal life, with such a busy schedule?
I feel like that's an ongoing. That's hard. Just like I kind of mentioned earlier, like I've been working a lot, and I feel like a lot of my life has been based around work, and I'm okay with that. But you know, like it's more difficult than I thought it would be. Because you don't think about, when as a 21-year-old getting it, I don't think about that when I'm 30. But now, you know, I have a wife and we want to start a family and like things like that. So like there's a lot of different thoughts that go through my mind based off of, how much work I'm putting in,
Right.
and especially in the hospitality industry. Like that's, I'm working every holiday. I'm working Thanksgiving. I'm working Christmas. I come from a very traditional family and a loving family. Like I mentioned, like holidays mean a lot. So I've been, it's been 10 years of me like not being home for any type of holiday or trying to, like I'm celebrating at the hotel or wherever I'm working. So, it puts a toll on you and you think about it differently, but we try to, we try to take the time when we need it. I feel like I'm getting a little bit better at that. I don't know. My wife might say differently, but I'm getting a little bit better at like taking the time that I need personally for vacations or just time together or just time to do things that I like to do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's an ongoing process.
Do you have any other hobbies that you like to do?
I love, like recently, it's funny because I feel like 5 years ago I would have told you, well, actually earlier than that, probably, for 5 years, I would have told you like I love to go running on the beach and play baseball. Like this is the first year I haven't played like baseball, like in a men's league or something in Santa Barbara. But like now I really like I still love the beach. I mean, we live right down the road from it. Right. So I love to relax, to like really clear my mind. I think that's the most important thing to me now, whether that's even us going on vacation or like I need the time to truly separate from whatever is going on in my mind that's work related. I still do I like to be active. Like I said, I like to play baseball. I still try to play baseball. I didn't this year, but it didn't last year, but maybe this year I will. I like
if
to
you
run.
find the time for it.
Yeah, if I find the time. Exactly. That's the hardest thing, right? Trying to find the time. But yeah, just like relaxing at home and
have your me time.
Yeah, having that time to myself, or even just for me and my wife to hang out and do the things we like, whether that's going out for date night and eating good food, or taking a bike ride around town, or just going to the beach to hang out. Like those are things I need, and they make me really happy.
Right. Do you have any pastry chef that is your inspiration?
Oh, that's tough because there's a lot.
There's a lot of good ones, huh?
Yeah, there's just a lot that are very specific, right? Like a pastry chef, yes, is all encompassing. Like I know how to work with all different mediums, but there's a lot of pastry chefs out there that are specific to, like, I don't know, this Amari Gouchon is a person that I think a lot of people, even that don't know pastry, know. It's the guy that makes like these crazy chocolate showpieces. They're all over TikTok and like whatever. But he's an inspiration just for the sole purpose that he kind of created his own little niche, right? Mm-hmm. Like that's what he does. That's who he is. He's very famous. Cedric Grolet is also a person. He's French. But he was the first one to create these realistic fruits. So like a lemon that looks like a lemon, but as a pastry, like he created that. So again, I think I pull more inspiration from people like that, where they're creating this own niche for themselves, and then they're making a living off of it. So I always try to strive to do different and cool things that maybe it's just me,
Right. Now that's pretty interesting. I've seen some videos of some pastry chef making cakes that is so beautiful that I'm like, I'm not gonna eat it. This is a piece of art, because there is so much art that goes into that. Mm-hmm. And that's why it's so fascinating, because it's not just like something that you cook and then you finish it and you deliver it, ready to eat it. It's just like so well done and orchestrated that feels like a piece of art that you don't wanna break, you don't wanna cut.
And it's funny because, like, if you would have told me, again, asked me this question or told me that I would be artistic, I would have, like, in high school, in college, like I was not artistic. Like I would consider myself not an artsy person, truly. And even now I have to like second guess myself, because it's like, I'll say, oh, like I still feel like I'm not artistic. And then like my sister or my wife or my mom would be like, what are you talking about? Like, you're literally an artist. You're doing this, you're creating this. So it's interesting to me that because I love what I do so much and that passion, it's like created this like new love for creativity and artistry, like in my own self, which I never thought I would ever have.
Right.
Because it was never a part of like what I wanted to do as a young kid,
Right. But I love this this quote that says, when you start walking, the path shows to you. Is basically I'm like I'm quote unquote on that.
Yeah.
But it's basically the meaning. But it's like you don't think too much of it, right? Like doing it, you
No.
start doing because you're passionate about it, and then all those things start happening to you because you start spending so much time on it and then devote so much of yourself and of your creativity, even though you think like, oh, I don't think it back then there will be art on it,
Yeah.
but that is so much. And anything that you do with your heart, I feel it's art.
Yeah, I agree. And honestly, I truly agree, especially because of all the passion I've put into what I do. You're right. It's opened up these different avenues for me on that path. It's cool.
Cool. So looking forward, what are the goals that you, or challenges that you think that you're going to be taking on the future and, taking on challenges or spend time on developing new things?
I think there's a lot. It's still like, it's funny. There's so much I want to do. Whether that's opening up something that's mine, whether that's doing something that's strictly a me thing. I think there's still like a part in my heart that wants to do that. Also striving for greatness. So like continuously doing things, taking opportunities, working hard to become like a very well-known pastry chef in the industry. Also like personally, obviously we just talked about it, like getting better at just work-life balance. I don't really like, to be honest, like what is a work-life balance, but like getting better at understanding that I want to do certain things in my personal life. So finding a balance, whatever I end up doing, I would like that balance. I think
find a balance is also find other hobbies
that
you
exactly.
can be doing to just like clear your mind from. So we always have to take a break of whatever we do, you can't do the same thing over and over because it gets tired and bored and you just need to step out. In design, we do a lot. We spend so much time on a project and then the project slows down and then that's when we step out and then we start doing something else. Yeah. And then we get back. I'm like, oh, wow, this was actually really cool. I completely forgot because we always have to step back a little bit too. It's part of the creativity, I feel like.
I think I need to do that. I think there's like little things that I can do, whether that's, like you said, hobbies, like, I don't know, working with clay or like doing things with my hands because I love doing that, like blowing glass. Like I do sugar sculptures and I blow glass. Like there's a lot of correlations and like real life things that I do in pastry that I would love to probably do more of. And whether that's doing more pastry classes, like going to learn how to do more sugar sculptures and chocolate sculptures and like different techniques. Like again, there's always a place to learn. So that's another thing I would like to keep doing is just continuous learning, not necessarily directly in my job, but outside of it.
But you always can bring to your job.
Yeah, exactly.
So you said blowing glass. Have you heard about the artist called Chahuli?
Yes. That's in Seattle, right?
That's in Seattle. Yes.
Yeah, I've been to that museum.
It's really cool. It's really cool.
So
I have
cool.
to. Yeah, and it reminds me of it because it's pretty interesting. And the amount of sculpture that he did in that museum. Insane. And then now you mentioned about sugar. It's something that definitely I can see you doing it.
Yeah. There's so many correlations to blown glass and sugar. Like there's pretty much the technique of blowing sugar comes from blowing glass. Like that's like they're both one and the same. Like you can do a lot of things with sugar that look exactly like glass, and that's like kind of the
hard sugar. It's pretty much glass.
Yeah,
it hurts sometimes if you break.
I know it's a little easier probably to break, but
it's easier to break for sure. But do you know, like sometimes when I do Brazilian pudding, that I do the sugar part.
Okay,
and then after I just put the pan on the water, the sugar gets like harder. It gets glassy.
Crystallized. Yeah, it goes crazy.
It's just like, wow. It's very chemistry too. And there's a lot of chemistry in baking.
Yes. I mean, I took a class in college called food microbiology. Like I learned about ingredients and how they interact with, whatever you're making. So you talk about baking, how hard it is. Like the reason for that is because every ingredient does a certain job in a cake, for instance, right? Like your sugar does something, your eggs do something, your flour does something. So like learning that as like, a science really helps how you create things.
Right.
Because you can take that.
So I wonder if you start baking, like when you first started baking, what was the first thing that you started baking, like breads? Because usually people start fall in love with the baking industry?
No, I mean,
through bread?
Because the first time that I baked truly was at school. And my first class I took in school was chocolate. So like I learned how to temper chocolate, how to, create a little sculpture out of chocolate, how to work with it, how to make different ganache. Like it was actually a very intense introduction to pastry, because it's like, if you didn't know anything and you didn't like this class, you probably would have thought like, there's no way I can do anything else. Like this is very difficult. But I actually am grateful that was my first class, because it was an introduction to like the math and the science behind it, which was really interesting to me. So like I fell in love with it. I was able to, I was actually very successful in it, which was really cool. Cause again, it's like the first time I'm like doing anything with pastry. And yeah, it taught me a lot about the world of pastry, not just necessarily chocolate. Yeah, that was like the first thing. I guess that was the first thing I did. I was working with chocolate, which is kind of cool to say.
So the school that you went to, Johnson and Wales University, it was basically a full-on university, or was it specific for pastry?
So it's a full-on university. It was like a hospitality school to begin with.
Okay.
But they're very well known. They have 2 campuses. So there's like a downtown campus, which is like your normal like criminal justice, like all your normal. I don't know. I'm saying normal, but like just basic university. Yeah. And then Harborside, which is where I was, that campus was like it was the culinary school.
Oh,
so like it was really cool. We had a really beautiful, like all glass building that was like 4 or 5 floors, 4 or 5. That had all different labs in there, whether that was for chocolates or sugar, even for like the culinary side, for like meat cutting. And like, there was like really cool classes in this building. So that's like where I spent most of my time.
Cool.
Yeah.
Like my friends in Brazil, I have a lot of chef friends.
Yeah.
Yes, friends that went to culinary schools in Brazil, in France, and I'm surrounded by them. It's really amazing because I love going home to eat a good food.
Yeah. See, it's good to have friends like that.
And I'm not picky about it, but I have a high standards. Just because I have like really good chefs around, and it's always nice to have people that love cooking.
Especially if you love food.
Yeah,
and if you love
I'm a food enthusiastic. However, I was actually having this conversation the other day, and someone was giving me a hard time because I'm like, I'm not really a food enthusiast. Food is not my passion.
Yeah.
I'm a food enthusiastic. I have a specific taste of things that I like to eat. For instance, if I want to have I would say a sandwich. I'm not gonna have like a ham and cheese sandwich.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a prosciutto and brie sandwich. That's basically my house. Only like I never buy ham.
Yeah.
For instance, I always buy prosciutto and brie. It's just like and baguettes is like the bread that goes in my house. The only ones that comes in is usually a baguette or brioche.
That's good.
Or that is another one that I love too, which is the Italian
Ciabatta?
bread. Yeah. So but that's like it's my taste.
Yeah.
So it's just like
that's good. I think that's great. It's because it's what's interesting with food, and like to that point, right? Like you don't have to be food centric, but once you start to eat good food, or like good ingredients per se, or like good bread, right? Like there's nothing like it. And if you ever traveled, right? If you travel to Europe and you go to France and you get a baguette down the street, like you're not gonna come back to St. Barbara and eat, regular white bread. You're gonna go get a baguette and be like, oh yeah, I feel like I'm in France. That's what you're gonna do.
And honestly, like I grew up eating really good food and really clean.
Yeah.
When I moved to the US, I had a really hard time to adjust on that because I even lost weight because I could not find food interesting. I still don't, to be very honest. I find food interesting when I go to nice restaurants. That gives me references so that I know I'm going there not just for the food. I'm going there for the whole experience, the whole, atmosphere, the food, the chef, the everything, that design and everything, the whole experience. So I enjoy that. But I'm not a food passionate. Like I have friends that says like, I love eating. Like, no, I eat it because I have to eat.
Yeah.
But I love I love certain culinaries, like Italian and French. I love, and Brazilian, of course.
Yeah, of course.
And my favorite food, I would say that would be Japanese food. So it's just like
good stuff too.
Yeah,
it's all great.
Yeah, exactly. So I enjoy food, but I would say like I'm not crazy about it.
No, I get it. Yeah, I understand that. I feel like I would never. I'm not like Well, no, actually, I'm probably opposite. I'm obsessed with food. I like to eat. So, but I like good food. So I agree with you. Like I need good food
Yeah,
always.
yeah. I mean, I love eating. I love eating. However, I like to eat it when I know what come from
Yeah.
usually. And usually I like to cook my food because I like that that is something also about Brazilian food that it has a lot of taste on it, you
Yeah.
know, that is the ingredients is different
Yeah.
too. And also I feel the seasoning is different. So
Yeah.
I miss that and I like to do it.
Good.
And there is nothing better than rice and beans for me.
No. Yeah. I get it. I get it.
How do you feel looking back and we talk about accomplishments? How
Mm-hmm.
do you feel you as a Jordan? How do you feel when you look back and see all the things that you've been accomplished?
Wow, that's a heavy question. It's good. I feel really proud of myself. I feel like there's been a lot of moments in my career sporadically where I've doubted me, right? As not just and we're just talking professionally, right? Like doubted me professionally. And yes, I think these Food Network competitions have tested me where I'm like, oh, I don't feel like I'm here, but then they give me this like, the sense of confidence. Yeah, I feel like proud is a really big word. It's hard for me to say that, to be honest with you, because I'm humble in that way where I just feel like I haven't done that much. And yes, it takes people like you, it takes people like my wife to tell me like, yes, you have done a lot, and you work really hard. So yeah, I'm proud of myself because I think once I started the journey as a pastry chef or wanting to become a pastry chef, I've only ever become a sponge. Like I knew nothing. I went to college. I learned as much as I could. I graduated with like a 3.98 GPA. Like I was top of my class. Like all I wanted to do was learn as much as I could and be the best at it. That comes also from my family. My brother's a very competitive person. My sister, I mean, my whole family is very competitive. But yeah, I'm just really proud of myself. I've sacrificed a lot. I moved away from my family. I moved away from all my friends. But it's paid off. And
Yeah.
I feel like I'm at that time in my life where I can reflect on that and say like, it feels good to be where I'm at. And I think that's important for anybody to like
Yes.
really look introspectively and say like, you've done a lot and you should be proud of yourself.
Yes, you should. You
Yeah.
should. It's pretty impressive all your accomplishments, you know.
Thank you.
It's not a lot of people would like to be on your shoes right now and they have all those awards and be bragging about it. And you're so humble about it. You
Thank
just feel like, yeah, this is part of my life. It's part of my portfolio. And I will continue moving on and continue proving myself.
And I think everybody in my family is like that. My dad has been that way. He's still working. He's 64, 3, I don't know. But he works as hard as he did when he was 30. And he's always been that way. So I think that comes from obviously how I was raised and just who I am.
Beautiful. And what's the most significant learning that you had in the past year?
Past year?
Yeah. Or the past 10 years, like something that you can think on your career that was
significant learning. I honestly think like, so I traveled abroad my sophomore year of college, and I studied in France, which is like the mecca of pastry, right? And
right. Did you go
professionally,
to Le Corbusier? No, not Le Corbusier, Lyon.
yeah, I was south of Lyon. So it was ENSP. I'm not going to say the French word, but it was a school out there. And I think I learned like the traditions of French pastry. Yes, I learned the techniques, but I just learned like what that life is like and how there's, generations of pastry chefs or bakers, right? Like people who just do bread in Europe. And it was significant because I feel like at that point I was naive to pastry. I didn't really know much. I was like, I'm just going to go study in France and learn whatever. But you start to really understand like what it means to a lot of people, especially who care about that career. So I think it like flipped me on my head. It was like, okay, well, I want to be that way. I want to care as much as these, people in the countryside do about pastry and just French in general. So like, it was cool.
And there's a lot of tradition that comes in pastry and baking. And that's why I love that. Because we cannot forget the traditions and how things have been made for centuries of years.
Yeah. It's a really cool learning experience if you're ever nerd enough to look it up, right? Like just the origins of everything baking wise or pastry wise. It's really cool.
Yeah, amazing. I was going to ask what was your biggest accomplishments, but we talked so much about the baking shows, and I'm sure that you're going to say one of them.
Well, it's hard. Yeah, yes and no, right? Like I think another big accomplishment is exactly kind of what I'm alluding to. Like I took that jump to go to pastry to go to school to learn pastry, and like I knew nothing. And I graduated at the top of my class, and I graduated with a bachelor's degree, and like that's a huge accomplishment.
It is.
Right? Like that's something that I can't take for granted either. On top of, yes, all the other great things that have happened thus, like afterwards. But I think graduating and being at the top of my class is another huge accomplishment.
Yes, congratulations.
Yeah.
I'm impressed by you, honestly. I'm a huge fan.
Thank you.
And as an interior designer, I cannot not ask this question.
Okay.
It's a must have there.
Okay.
What's your dream home?
Oh, that's a good question. What is my dream home? Again, I think 10 years ago, I was like, oh, I want it to be modern and sleek, but like there's no life to that. I think my dream home is like, I don't know, the style, the Carolina style, like the Carolinas, like north and south, like just like a beachy kind of home.
Okay.
Maybe not as Victorian, but there needs to be like a little bit, craftsman. Like there needs to be a little bit of wood, a little bit of stone. I still like the modern appliances. Like
Of course.
I can't live in like a weathered house. It's just me. Maybe that's just being, I don't know, me. But yeah, I think like it needs to have some characters, like wood, some stone,
fireplace,
2 stories.
Oh, you want a 2 stories?
Yeah, I've always lived in 2 stories.
But how are you gonna grow old in a home? So I guess you're gonna
get
have
one of those.
home.
I get one of those chairs.
No, you're gonna have an elevator.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, something like that. With land, I would like to have
outdoor
grass and land because I played in the grass when I was a kid, and that's something I want my kids to do. And I want to have dogs, and I just want room for them to roam.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So if there is any place that calls you name, or outside of Santa Barbara, of course, it's hard to beat Santa Barbara, to be very honest. I feel like we're in the caveat of the United States. And when I talk to my partner about moving out, we're just like, we got to move out of the U.S. and go to south of France.
Yeah.
I'm not leaving the U.S. There's nothing else in here to beat Santa Barbara, right? But if there is any place that calls your name and is calling your heart, would you live anywhere else?
Yeah, I would. So I'm originally from the East Coast, but like I was born in Buffalo, but I lived in Pennsylvania. I lived in Boston, Mass. I went to school in Providence, Rhode Island.
Oh, that's true.
Yes,
actually, I'm reading a book about a lot that mentions a lot about Providence and Rhode Island.
Yeah, it's
with Viola
place.
Davis.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place. I mean, Providence, Newport is beautiful. Anyway, I've lived in Florida, so like, I don't know. I don't mind the East Coast. I don't mind the Carolinas. I just said that. Like, I would love to live. I think as much as I say I want to like live all over, I do want to live near water because I have lived near water pretty much my whole like adult life. So yeah, I mean, I love Santa Barbara. It is my home right now, which is great. Yeah, I feel like the Carolinas or even just back to like Amelia Island where I started working is like this very niche little island, almost like Santa Barbara. It's a very specific, it's not a big place. It's like 1.5 miles wide by like 2 miles long.
I love that.
I remember driving a scooter. Like I didn't even have a car. It was like really cool. I don't know if necessarily I can live there and like create a family, but it's like maybe somewhere I retire. But yeah, the Carolinas or like Chicago maybe, or even just like New England. I wouldn't mind going to any of those places.
Cool.
But right now Santa Barbara is pretty cool.
It is. It is. No, seriously. I feel like Santa Barbara is a very special place, and then we can afford to live here. We're just like
we're just
in the bubble.
Yeah, we're just roaming around.
So, if you could change anything about yourself, what that would be?
Whoa. My stubbornness, probably.
Wow.
I'm pretty stubborn. It's so funny. I'm like it's almost like I'm a different person, but I'm truly not. Like at work, I'm very patient, very like not stubborn. Outside of work, I'm stubborn. I'm impatient.
Yeah, when you turn off the mood.
Yeah, I don't know why. I'm just like, oh God, everything makes me. So probably those 2 things: being impatient and my stubbornness.
Yeah,
I think it's okay to be stubborn.
It is okay.
It's okay. It's okay to like stand on what you believe and who you are and all that stuff. But Sometimes like
also like the thing about being stubborn is like usually have the vision of what you want, and you have to stick with that.
Yeah,
you know, you have
you're
to
focused
stick with,
and you know what you want. So yeah, maybe change like a little bit of it. Maybe
yeah,
not
maybe
as
you can
stubborn.
tone it down, you know.
Just a little bit.
One thing that I feel like sometimes something that we want to change in ourselves or our personal lives, it's really good on professional lives. You know, like I am a very perfectionist person, and I don't like to stop to do anything mediocre. I have to do well done. Even cleaning my house, I have to clean every single thing. So professional is really good, but I know my personal life, it can get in a way that it can be even like seen like, oh yeah, you are way too deteriorated, way too perfectionist. But I feel like that is nothing good that cannot be great.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
get
it's
it. No,
just
I
like,
get it.
it's just like sometimes, it's you change that, maybe tone it down.
Yeah, you just tone it down.
But
You can't
might be good sometimes when you have an idea and a vision that you believe it, so go for it.
Yeah, it's part of me. So
Yeah. So what advice you do give it to your young self?
it's a good question too. Probably like, I feel like when I graduated college, I had this idea in my head. I was like, I'm going to do this by this time, this by this time. I'm going to be this person in 5 years, blah, blah, blah. It's good to have goals. I think that should never change. But like life also happens. And I think I learned that throughout my life. There's a lot of things that I've done that I never thought, they weren't on my docket. I wasn't like, oh yeah, I'm checking all this stuff off. Yes, there are some things on there that I knew I wanted to do. Like become an executive pastry chef before I was 30, which I did. But also just flow through life a little bit. Put yourself in right positions, talk to a lot of people, connect with a lot of people, and things kind of fall into place when they should.
Right.
Yeah, don't try to plan out too much, because it gets you a little, I think, sidetracked to like maybe what life is supposed to be like in the moment.
Right.
You know?
Well, that's a good advice. It's good planning, as you said. It's good to have a goal, but it's also good to let things happen.
Yeah.
And I truly believe that things happen the way it should happen. And usually I make peace with that, because I know I'm not seeing the big picture, because nobody can see the big picture, but it happened that way because something else is meant to be.
Yeah.
And so it's good. It's like, it's good to let life to play.
Yeah.
So my next question for you is, when you were at your happiest?
When am I at my happiest? Do you want the realist answer? Not
yes.
like the real. Laying on my couch while my wife scratches my back. That's probably when I'm happiest.
Oh, that is a good. Oh gosh, I love that too.
And I can fall asleep in like a half a second. But other than that, I think like, again, when I'm able to disconnect, lay on the beach, get some sun, maybe run. Yeah, that's probably when I'm at my happiest. Also, I mean, I'm happy at work too. Sometimes it's really difficult to be happy at work. But like doing what I love to do, obviously that has made me who I am today, and I'm very happy with that too. So
yeah, it's funny to say that. Sometimes it's hard to be happy at work. Yeah, I just need to have coffee, and then you get coffee high and look around like, I love this place.
Everything is fine.
Everything is fine.
Yeah.
We usually get overwhelmed from things that we cannot control, and even things that we can control. But it's just like sometimes you just like breathe.
Yeah.
Everything's gonna be fine. Just need to go through the day.
Just gonna take a breath.
Yeah. So my next question for you is, what could inspire you to make the difference in the world?
Whoa. Oh yeah, this is a good one. So it's funny, we haven't talked about this yet, but I'm a big Bills fan.
Okay.
Buffalo Bills fan. It's Super Bowl today, but I don't really care too much because the Chiefs are in it. But Josh Allen, he just won the MVP, and in his MVP speech, he literally at the end of it, all he said was, "Be good, do good." Period. I think that's wake up, choose to be positive. I think it's harder to choose to be angry and upset, and it affects your relationships. But also just be a good person, be good and do good. I think that's it. Period.
Good. Perfect. I love it. Period. I love it. My last question for you is, what do you appreciate in life?
I appreciate my wife. I appreciate my family. I appreciate, I don't know. I think a lot. That kind of encompasses a lot. What else do I appreciate? I appreciate me time, alone time. But yeah, I think that's really it. There's not like, it's all encompassing. There's nothing really super specific that I appreciate, but I do appreciate the people that I love in my life, always being in my corner. So it's a big thing.
So to end our conversation, I always like to end the episode in a good note with The Universe Has Your Back deck. I don't know if you ever did that. Cool. So it's by Gabrielle Bernstein. And basically what I'm going to ask you to do is you're going to pull, first of all, you got to knock 3 times to break the energy of whoever touched it before, which was me. And then you're going to shove and pick a card for yourself.
So I knock it?
Yeah, knock like 3
this?
times. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then I just shuffle?
Yes, and then just let the universe send you a message.
I got to shuffle this a lot. Better be a good message.
Mm-hmm. It's always a good message. Right, never a bad card.
Good. All right. What does it say? It says, my energy creates my reality. What I focus on is what I will manifest.
Yay!
That's pretty good.
It is really good.
It's kind of like what my life has been like.
And it's kind of like, let me show. It's kind of like we've been talking, and it's kind of like, whoops. It's kind of like what we've been talking, and you mentioned something that you wanted to be on the show early on in your career, so you manifested that. So
that's pretty cool.
You'll be manifesting. This is Jordan's card, and let's put it here. Well, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for being here today.
Of course. Thank you for having me. It's been amazing. Yeah, it was really a lot of fun.
Thank you. And you guys, thank you so much for staying with us. And if you think this conversation is relevant and inspiring to you and to your friends and family, please share. We are also on social medias on Instagram as Life and Design Podcast, and social media as Instagram and TikTok, and also the website, lifeanddesignpodcast.com. And I will see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We did it.
That was fun. That's cool.